Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, communication, family relationships, all through the lens of self-government. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about controlling the impulse to lie, which is a pro-parenting skill that you can teach to your child so that they can conquer that problem. I teach self-government. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. That means you make plans for yourself, you follow through, and then you fix things along the way so that you get the desired outcome that you're looking for. Children and parents can all learn self-government, and controlling the impulse to lie is a huge self-government skill. In this video, I'm going to be talking about skill sets, and then I'm going to be talking about my story and how I overcame the impulse to lie, as well as a vital skill set that you can teach to your child and use yourself if you happen to have a problem, so that they and you can learn to control the impulse to lie if it's a craving. So let's talk about skill sets. What exactly is a skill set? Well, basically, if there's a certain skill that you want to know, like how to be calm when somebody else is doing something that's not calm, well, you're going to have a step-by-step process for that. That is called a skill set. There are many skill sets that I teach people to teach their children and that they need to learn themselves as part of the Teaching Self-Government Parenting course. These 4 books right here each teach one of the 4 basic skills to children. The 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. Each one of these 4 basic skills has a skill set attached to it. For instance, when a person learns to accept a no answer, they look at the person or situation, they keep a calm face, voice, and body, they say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, and then they drop the subject. So this means that they say, okay, and then they don't think about it anymore. They let it go. So how did I get into skill sets? Well, that's an interesting story. When I was really young, I developed the habit of lying. I think it was probably around age 6. But the problem did not go away until I was about 14 years old. It really became an addiction, actually. I couldn't stop myself. In fact, there were times when I didn't even know that I was lying until after it had happened. I didn't have a habit of checking my words before they came out of my mouth, and soon I just started embellishing everything. I'll forever be grateful for a good friend who changed my life by declaring that she knew what was going on. So one day, I was playing basketball with some friends and I told a lie. I don't know what the lie was. I wasn't that good to remember them all. But I did tell a lie, and it was probably just some sort of grandiose thing that I said. And all of my friends looked at each other and exchanged glances and then started saying, hey, let's go to my house and play. Yeah, okay, I'll go ask my mom. I'll be over in a minute. And I was left standing there on the basketball court in my friend's yard. My friend had the ball and she was walking toward the garage to put it away. And she turned and looked at me. And she said, you know, Nicholeen, we all know that you're a liar and we don't believe anything you say. You should choose to tell the truth. And then she walked away. I think she must have felt bad for me that day. As she saw me standing there lost, going, wait, what just happened? She knew what happened. And for some reason, she chose to tell me. And I'm so grateful that she did. That friend literally transformed my life. I went home that day feeling dejected, friendless, and like I had a problem I did not know how to fix. I had actually been working on fixing this problem for years. Every time that it was my turn to give a spiritual lesson at our house, because our family did that on a regular basis, I always talked about honesty and lying and why it was so bad. I kept hoping, I think, secretly that I would convince myself not to lie anymore. But it didn't work. In fact, nothing worked until this day when my friend Tara Lee changed my life. I'm going to tell you the rest of my story and share with you the skill set that I created for myself, which led to developing a lot of other skill sets and identifying skill sets in healthy behavior as I went through life. But before I do, click that subscribe button. That subscribe button will make it so that you see other videos that I make. There are new ones that come out on this channel every day, and you're not going to want to miss them. They all relate to self-government, good communication, and making strong family relationships. Click on that subscribe button now. So I went home from Tara Lee's house. I went to my room, And I sat down on my bed and just thought. I didn't know what to do. In fact, hours went by as I was trying to solve this problem. I remember thinking, I don't have any friends. Nobody likes me. I have got to fix this. And as I was sitting there thinking, I said these words, I'm never going to lie again. And then I thought, how am I going to do that? I don't even know when I lie sometimes. Sometimes I just start talking and then I realize I lied. And then I realized that was the answer. If I could stop myself from talking ever again, then I would never lie ever again. Now, of course, I'm 14, I'm not thinking coherently, and I entertained it for a minute. Could I stop myself from talking altogether? Probably not. I'm a pretty extroverted person, and so that wasn't going to be an option. So instead, I determined at that point, but there was a craving that came before the talk, and I knew that feeling. I knew that craving. If I could make sure that every time I feel the craving to talk, that I stop myself and I analyze what I'm going to say before I actually say it, I might have a chance of speaking more truthfully. So, I resolved that that was what I was going to do. This was my skill set. I would recognize the craving to talk. Then I would tell myself, that's the craving, stop. So I would stop myself and then assess. I would think the question, is this the truth? Are these words I was right about to say true? I had to ask myself that question. If the answer was yes, then I told myself that I would proceed and say them exactly as they were so that they were completely true. But if the answer was no, then I would turn and I would walk away. And I had to tell myself to walk away. And the reason why was because if I stayed, I knew I would give in to that craving, at least initially, before I got better at telling myself no. You see, I had to give myself a no answer at that time. And I had to drop the subject. And if the subject or conversation was staring me in the face, I knew it was going to be hard to drop that subject. So in the end, I walked away from many conversations. But I also told the truth a lot too. There was this moment, I call it my victory moment, when I was asked by a teacher, and by the way, I was in like honors classes and really known for my academics, but what a lot of people didn't know is that I'd been kind of lying my way through some of those good grades. And that's really just because I didn't want to put in the time. I felt it was kind of useless. And so I started just slapdash doing my assignments, turning them in that day. Well, one day our teacher called for an assignment in my English class, and I didn't turn anything in. At the end of class, she said, Nicholeen, I noticed you didn't turn in an assignment. Are you going to go get that in your locker or something like that? And that was the moment. The moment that changed me. I said, okay, she's asking me a question. Stop. What is the truth? Okay, the truth is I didn't do it. Then, is this the exact truth? The answer was yes. I took a little step forward. I looked at her and I said, I'm not going to turn in a paper. I didn't write one. And she said, are you sure? Are you sure that it's not somewhere else? You have till the end of the day to turn it in. And normally what I would do is go to lunch or go out in the hall and hurry and write it up because it wasn't that hard for me. But I decided no, that day I was going to accept my consequence. So I said, no, I don't have it. She's like, okay, you're going to have to take an F on that. I said, I know. And I remember as I walked out of the doorway to that classroom, I felt lighter. I felt better. I felt like I'd done something really great, even though my teacher probably thought I'd done something really bad. I told the truth. There was something on the line. My reputation with the teachers, my grades that I would have to explain to my parents. It was all on the line, and I still chose to tell the truth. That was huge, and I knew from that moment on I could do it no matter what. That was the skill set. Recognize you want to say something. Stop yourself. Analyze yourself and see if it's really true. And then have a plan for if it is or if it isn't. And then check up on how you've done. So think over the situation afterward. See how you can improve. And if you happen to tell a lie, you've got to go back and fix it. Lying is just one of the problems that we face as parents and sometimes even ourselves. There are so many different things that we need to learn to truly be mature emotionally and behaviorally and be self-governing. If you would like to teach your children more things about self-government, more of these vital skills for success, I have created a class. It's an entire class that I'm offering to everybody for free here on YouTube on this channel. And I suggest that you go to that class next. The class is called the Not not so known secret for parenting success. Whether you're a parent or not, there are skills and principles in that class that truly are transformational and will improve all of your behavior and bonds. So click on the link now. I'll see you there.